So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play all the phrases from the first three positions. You have your first position, your second position, and then your first position lower octaves. So that's 3 positions, 5 phrases each, 15 phrases total. I'm going to play them in order, and the reason I'm doing this is to show you how you can practice at home. Hopefully you're doing this as well. So you memorize these phrases and play them in order with the track. Let's have a go at it. So I did it. That's 15 phrases. You'll notice actually halfway through I switched pickups and I went to my lower pickup, which is my rear pickup. I've been on the front pickup this whole time. And then I went to the rear. Now when I went down on the neck, I went this way to the first position lower octave, and I desired a stronger tone or a little more bite or edgier tone, and that's why I went down to the rear pickup, okay? If you're playing on a guitar with more than one pickup, then you should experiment. Most guitars have more than one pickup, by the way. So certain guitars don't. Like maybe if you have an original like P90 style Les Paul Jr., and maybe just a bridge pickup, or maybe an Esquire type Tele with just a bridge pickup. But most modern guitars have at least 2 pickups. So try flipping back and forth, and also while we're on the subject, maybe all your tone and volume knobs, just turn those all the way up, okay? If your volume is too loud, you should turn yourself down on the amp, turn your guitar volume all the way up. That'll give you the most gain and saturation, okay? So back to the lesson. I'm working with this. This is the 5 phrases in each position, 3 positions, 15 phrases total. I walked through all of them. You should be practicing like this now every day. So just to reiterate, every day you're playing the scales, you're playing all the scales that you've learned. You're holding out the notes, you're randomizing, you're experimenting in various places with your own chokes, hammers, slides, pull-offs, trills, and then you're adding in to your phrases, you're adding in my phrases, and now you're randomizing them, you're constantly playing them all up and down all the time. We're about halfway through the course now, actually less than halfway. We've covered 3 positions and we have 5 more positions to go with 8 total. But you can already see the trajectory. If you follow this course to the T, you're going to learn how to improvise in the key of E minor, and that's exactly what was promised. But you see how much hard work it takes to get there, okay? So hopefully you're clear on what you need to do to get what you want to get out of this course, okay? So when you're ready, I'll see you at the next lesson and we'll talk about the next position. Okay, so now we're at our second position lower octave, which will be over here on the neck, the 3rd fret. And just like the first position lower octave, it's just like your original first and second position, but it's an octave down. All the notes that you are playing in the lower octave are the same exact notes on the higher octave. They just sound lower. And that's going to mean that all the phrases that you learned in the higher octave are actually going to work in the lower octave and vice versa, okay? But there are certain leanings or certain phrases that tend to sound better in the lower register as opposed to a higher register. And that's why I took the time to teach you all new phrases in each register instead of just saying do the same thing in one octave as another. But of course, you feel free to do the same thing. But on top of that, I'm giving you 5 more, okay? So you're gonna get your 5 phrases for this position, but first let me teach it to you. Put your second finger on the 3rd fret 6th string, and then your pinky on the 5th fret 6th string. First finger on the 2nd fret 5th string. 4th finger on the 5th fret 5th string. First finger on the 2nd fret 4th string. Pinky on the 5th fret 4th string. First finger on the 2nd fret 3rd string. 3rd finger on the 4th fret 3rd string. First finger on the 3rd fret 2nd string. 3rd finger on the 5th fret 2nd string. First finger on the 3rd fret 1st string. And then 3rd finger on the 5th fret 1st string. By the way, like I said earlier in this course, don't get too hung up on which finger goes where. I'm specifying your first finger or your second finger, or maybe your third or your pinky, and you may have never used your pinky before this course. If that's the case, I encourage you to start using your pinky, okay? Some people get really caught up with the fingering that they exactly learned the scale to be in, and that's good to have that kind of discipline or regiment, but when you start improvising and flying all over the neck, it's really going to matter very little. Okay, the only thing that matters is if you have a tendency to play things the wrong way. For instance, if you have a tendency to avoid using the pinky at all costs and you're always making the 3rd and 2nd finger work overtime, then I'd encourage you to start using your pinky. Or if you have a tendency to reach over instead of moving your thumb and moving into a whole new position completely with your wrist and your knuckles and everything, some people just kind of reach over and do all they can without actually moving their thumb. That's a bad habit. So aside from stuff like that, you're really safe to use whatever finger is available when you're in the midst of improvising and flying through positions and scale patterns and strings and frets. But when you're actually learning the scale just verbatim as a scale, there are certain fingers that may lean better to it than others. Okay, so hopefully you don't get stuck on this issue. Some people do. Again, if you're stuck, contact me for a Skype lesson or one of my associates to get a Skype lesson, and we can answer some basic questions you may be having. But hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. So we've learned our scale, and now we're going to play it slowly to the song like we always do. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play the scale, but this time you're going to just hold certain notes and let them ring out, okay? So this is just to get your ear used to these tones and how to start creating melodies. Hopefully by now we've done a few positions and you're getting used to this process, and your ear can already hold them. You may be noticing that I keep teaching you new positions, but you're actually learning the same exact notes over and over in different spots on the guitar. Okay, the pentatonic scale that I'm teaching you, the word penta means 5 and tonic means tone, so it's a 5-tone scale. You're learning the same 5 tones repeated over and over all throughout the guitar neck. And that's why these are sounding very familiar to you, and they should be almost to a point where you hear the scale and you can recognize, like you could say, hey, that sounds like a pentatonic scale. Okay, so we're going to work with the track and we're going to start holding out a few tones. Watch. Pretty simple. You're coming along. If you've been working diligently on this course every day and you've been moving forward after you've memorized and learned the concepts, then you're probably getting pretty good by now. And so by now, this kind of super basic breakdown of introducing a scale position to you may seem a little too elementary. So forgive me if that's how it feels. You may even want to skip over it. But I'm going to do it through the rest of the positions as well, just to add a level of continuity. And if you need that extra help in understanding the positions, it's there for you. So moving forward, now I'm going to play it and I'm going to randomize those notes. Okay, so here's what you're going to do for your homework. Okay, try to go for some cool sounding notes there. I just randomized it. I started incorporating a little bit of phrasing, but then I decided to hold myself back and save all that cool phrasing for your next section, because I'm going to teach you 5 phrases at the next section. So when you're ready, join me over there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play with our second position lower octave, and we have our first phrase, which sounds like this. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about it. You're going to put your second finger on the 3rd fret 6th string. Put your pinky on the 5th fret 6th string. First finger on the 2nd fret 5th string, pinky on the 5th fret 5th string, first finger on the 2nd fret 4th string, and then put your pinky back to that 5th fret 5th string. So it's one more time. Okay. I'm going to play it to the track several times just to give you the vibe. Work with that, memorize it. When you're ready, you can repeat after me. All right, good. So you've worked on it, and now you're going to repeat after me, okay? So let's do it with the track, and I'll put some space in there and jump in. chill, very melancholy. Okay, so work with that, and I'll see you over at the next class.